The Vrede Dairy Farm in the Free State will finally be handed over to 65 beneficiaries. This almost 10 years after the project was launched. The controversial project in the Free State was established to help empower black farmers with dairy farming skills, but it became tainted following corruption allegations. The state capture inquiry heard how the project was allegedly used to launder money. The DA has welcomed the handover, saying the rightful beneficiaries will finally be handed over the project aimed at building their community. Well, let me take you there live now with eNCA's Pule Letshwiti-Jones. So the word Vrede has come to be associated with scandal, looting and a heist, really, in that it was a case of taking from rightful beneficiaries and basically fattening the pockets of looters in as far as that project is concerned, with evidence that's out in the public domain and has been for a very long time. But it seems now, Pule, for a change, you are in Vrede and we're not talking scandal.
Yes, Tulas, rightfully so. I think that context is quite important, particularly because there were also allegations of money laundering to Gupta Link company, eNCA, as well, which had, of course, had money of about close to 880 million rand, and about 3.9% of that was not from provincial government. However, the rest was from the Free State provincial government, and to date, there's still some who haven't been held to account. But joining me now is Mr. Roy Jonkinson from the DA. Thank you very much for joining us in the eNCA. You've welcomed the move to actually have the project now handed over to the beneficiaries, but there's still quite few concerns. I mean, years later, after the contract was ended with eNCA linked to the Guptas, there was still being money from the project from the provincial government being pumped into the project for about 20 million.
Yes, today is actually a celebration for the beneficiaries of this project. It's been a 9-year battle that we've been fighting on their behalf through the courts, the public protector, the Zondo Commission, our law enforcement agencies, and now at last, after 9 years, the beneficiaries are recognized as such and they're going to become part of the project. Obviously, we are concerned about the large amounts of money that was spent on this project previously, that were laundered through this project by Gupta Link companies, specifically eNCA, and those are being investigated by law enforcement agencies, and we will ensure that this investigation continues and those who are accountable are in fact held accountable for that. The provincial government initially spent hundreds of millions of rands to put up this infrastructure, and since then, in the past 9 years, 20 million a year has been spent on this project without any beneficiaries here. So there have been no benefits for the community in the past 9 years with all the money that's been spent, or benefits for the beneficiaries. They now have to start from scratch. They have to be trained, they have to receive the necessary skilling so that they're able to run an operation of this nature. So 9 years have in fact been wasted that could have been used to beneficiate these beneficiaries and to train them to be able to do the work that now lies ahead. And obviously we'll continue to monitor the project and make sure that they receive the necessary support from the provincial government.
Now, in the legislature, has there been some sense of transparency as well from some of the provincial leaders in terms of how money has been spent right now? And that most importantly, at the core of this is taxpayers' money that is also being wasted, that could have equipped, like you've said, some of the beneficiaries' skills here as well.
Yes, a huge amount of taxpayers' money has been wasted. We said from the beginning that a project of this nature cannot exist without beneficiaries. And for 9 years, this project has been here. Huge amounts of money have been spent on this project without any beneficiation. So 9 years have in fact been wasted. And we will ensure that those who are accountable, specifically the politicians, because we've seen some criminal charges being laid and some people appearing in court, but they're mostly officials and some of them are linked to eNCA company. But the Guptas are still out there. The politicians, who are the political architects of this project, must be held accountable for the money laundering that took place here. And I've always said that the biggest injustice that a politician can do is to create an expectation of a better life for people and then to steal it from them. And that is why we've been relentless in this fight for the beneficiaries. And this is in fact a victory for them, that they are now recognized as such on this project.
Roy, this comes in the wake of just the State Capture Commission report, Volume 1. We're expecting, of course, the other Part 2 as well coming out before the final one. And, the likes of the then MEC of Agriculture and Rural Development, Msebenzi Zwane, did say that the project was not handled properly, but said, denied any wrongdoing, and said he wasn't aware that Estina was part of the project. Are you expecting some of these individuals who were implicated in this project to also be held accountable in that report that will be coming out as well?
Absolutely. I personally testified at the Zondo Commission, and this is one of the central projects involved with state capture in the Free State. In fact, it is the central state capture project in the Free State involving the controversial Gupta brothers. Estina was a Gupta-linked company. This whole project was set up for one purpose initially, and that is to launder money from the provincial government. The beneficiaries came as an add-on afterwards, and that is why we've been fighting for them, because that hope was created amongst them that they will get a better life, they will be involved in this project, and we have fought for that. And now that they are recognized and going to be involved, now the second phase for us is to ensure that those who stole money here, those who implemented this corrupt project, are held accountable for that. And those are the politicians, not just the officials. We want to see politicians in court for that.
Roy, thank you very much. I'll be joining you later on throughout this whole walkabout.
Thank you.
All right, there you go, Tulas. I'm Roy from the opposition leader in the Free State, of course, representing the DA, just detailing about how the party has welcomed the move, but are also calling for accountability. I would have loved to also speak to some of the beneficiaries, but of course we'll be catching up with them later on today, giving you updates as to what are some of their sentiments around this project, and of course asking the Premier as well, who's here, and the MEC regarding how this money will be handled properly this time around. The taxpayers' hard-working money isn't taken to waste this time.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for that update there. Pule Letshwiti-Jones out at that controversial. Hopefully it stops being controversial now, and now that it's being handed over to the rightful beneficiaries. 65 beneficiaries. Finally beneficiaries we recognize and say, if you're going to spend our money, these are the people you should be spending it on. People that need to be empowered to become productive farmers and make a living out of it and better their lot, because we are that kind of a society that empowers historically disadvantaged people.